Hello, it's Bailey, and welcome back to my channel. Today is season 2, round 1, episode 2 of Jokes on Me. You know the drill here at this point. We're gonna go into some card flips and find out what I'm going to be reading for the game. If this is your first time seeing Jokes on Me, there is a playlist linked down below with all of the previous videos, as well as a video from a couple moons ago of me explaining how this game is played. It's pretty self-explanatory, so you can just go ahead and watch this and see how it works. Hello, we are on season 2 of this, and I still have not mastered the best way to film me and the board, so here we are. Today's game piece of choice is actually this guitar pick. Random. I did try to play the guitar in high school. I was no good. So we are starting right here on Other TBR Game. I've got my cards. Here's what we flipped for episode 1. So here we go for episode 2. This always makes me so nervous, but off I go. A jack, so I'm unhauling a book. A 10, no special rule, I just moved 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Longest book. Not thrilled about that, but okay. And another 10, so I'm going far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Most popular, which most popular means the most ratings on Goodreads. Let's go check it out. So first and foremost, I flipped a jack, which means I was unhauling. So here is the footage of what I decided to unhaul. It's time to do my unhaul, and I have been anticipating an unhaul prompt for a very specific reason. If you don't know, I will choose a book. Today it's more than one book from my red shelf, as well as a book off of my TBR. So I'm taking a book off of each of those things, clearing some space on my red shelf, as well as forcing myself to give up on something that's been sitting on this physical TBR that I've been trying to get through for too long. So the thing I know I want to get rid of is on my red shelf. Let me grab them. During Squash That Series, finally finished the Series of Unfortunate Events series. Didn't like them at all. They need to leave. So these are finally leaving my shelves, which is clearing like a large space on the shelves. So these can go, but I guess I haven't considered at all what I want to get rid of on the TBR. So give me a second. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna decide. Okay, I'm gonna do it. This is me officially admitting that there is a series that I'm not going to read anymore, and this is actually a sequel in the series. I do also own the first book, so the next time I get an unhaul, I will unhaul probably the first book, but for now I'm going to get rid of a sequel that I haven't even read the first book to, and that is Indelible by Karen Slaughter. This is a sequel in the Blindsided series, so I have struggled with the Will Trent series, which technically comes after this series, and I think it's good for my well-being if I let it go. So those are my unhauls. I will see you for other actual reading. And then I flipped a 10 and got longest book. And so for longest book, I will be reading Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. I am reading this with a group of my friends, so I needed to get to this anyway. These take me forever. This is like 800 and something pages long. I read them at a very slow pace. And so this really will live up to being longest. And then I got another 10, getting me super far on the board this episode. And I got most popular. And to me, most popular means the most ratings on Goodreads. And so this book that I chose has almost 3 million ratings. On Goodreads, it has 2,973,000 ratings, and that is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I have no idea what this is. All I know is it was like a very popular book a couple years ago. I believe there was a TV show or a movie made out of this. I do think it's like a mystery of some sort, and so I'm excited to finally get this off my shelves, I guess. This is something that I keep thinking, like, I don't know what that is, but still not being willing to get rid of it. So this will be a good thing to get off of my TBR pile as well. And then lastly, I will be reading a My Choice book. In each of these episodes, I also read a book that is my choice, anything I want to read. And so for this episode, I'm going to be reading the Shelf This Book Club pick for the month of March, which is Not So Perfect Strangers by L.S. Stratton. This book was picked by Nessa. If you're unfamiliar with the book club, I will also link the most recent announcement for those books down below. So I'll be here to check in with you as soon as I start reading things. I am crawling out of a deep dark hole to talk to you today. Firstly, I started reading for this video on Sunday. It is now Friday, and I have made significant progress in 2 of these books, but we got very bad news on Monday. So I'm gonna give you a quick little house hunting, house selling update at the beginning here. Well, this isn't really the beginning because you've already seen the intro, but essentially our buyers on our house fell through. We were pretty far along in this process. We had already passed inspection and like a lot of stuff was in the clear, and then we got the bad news that they unfortunately were not able to buy our house. I won't give the reason. There is like in contractual things like this, we did get a reason as to why. It had nothing to do with our house and everything to do with their circumstances. So that just really sucks for us. We now have to like essentially, the house is still listed like until it fully goes through and is sold. It's still technically listed, but now it's like fully relisted again, and we have been preparing to have to show the house again, which just sucks. Like, yes, we kept it clean because people are in and out through the process of selling, but nothing is as good as like showing ready. I also think the last update that I gave you on house things, I had said that we were going to look at a house that we had strangely like already looked at and wanted in 2020, and we ultimately also decided not to even offer on that house again. So we are back, like we're back at square one here, and I've just been kind of bummed. It was my birthday this week. I've been having a crummy week. Chris did spoil me for my birthday, let me have time to myself, let me do a little retail therapy, so there's that. But I've just been kind of quietly reading and trying to handle the shit that we need to handle. But for reading now, I think like probably over 60% of the way through Not So Perfect Strangers by L.S. Stratton. The Shelf This Book Club live show for this is like this Sunday, so I only have a couple days to finish that, so it's a good thing that I am that far through. I will try to remember to link that live show down below so that you can watch it if you would like. It is a thriller and I'm enjoying it. It's been a little while since I've read a thriller. I feel like every time I read a thriller I say that, and it actually hasn't really been a while. I just used to read them so much that now even reading like a couple a month seems not that frequent. I don't know. My main thoughts on this are that like the premise of the book, like the synopsis on the back of the book, I was surprised that like that had fully come to fruition within like the first 10%. And so like the rest of the plot of the book was a total mystery to me, which is nice. I don't think too much should be given away about a mystery thriller going into it. But essentially we have 2 women in really poor relationships, and some agreement or non-agreement has been made about like how to handle their situations, and so we're kind of dealing with the consequences of a miscommunication and also, you know, murder investigations. So I am enjoying it so far. I think a lot of this, as usually with mysteries, will depend on like what the answers are in the end, so I'm having fun with the reading experience. And I'm excited to get to discuss it with book club. It is like the first book we're discussing coming off of a break month, so like the first book in this grouping. So it's always fun to jump back into book club, and I also feel like we've gotten quite a few new participants in book club, so I'm excited to see who shows up and what they have to say. But then I am also about 25% of the way through Assassin's Quest, which is, you know, a lot of pages already. I'm on page 226, and I'm actually glad that I waited to talk about this one until now because I wasn't enjoying the beginning. The beginning of this book has a big like journey plot line, which I just don't generally enjoy. I also think that Robin Hobb tends to kind of like dilly-dally in her storytelling. There's more here than needs to be, which I get like often makes a story like makes you connect to the characters more and feel like you've spent more time with them and are more invested, but sometimes it just feels like a slog. It's not like the worst thing ever, but sometimes I'm just finding myself waiting for like the next like actual thing to happen. And so now our main character Fitz is finally like gotten to where he's going to be and things are happening again. I don't know. I just don't know about this series. I really struggled with the first book and the writing style in that. I think I gave that 2.5 stars, but I think I gave the second book 4 stars, and so I was hoping that we were on like an upward slope, but I did enjoy the second book so much because there was a little romance there that is not, there's no romance yet in this one because he's been journeying. I'm really not sure what's going to be happening there, and so I don't know. I think maybe I lost a little bit of intrigue again. I just need something. I need something to happen. I need to not just be with Fitz by himself. He's not really by himself, but yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and crawl back into my hole, and I'll check back in with you once I've actually made progress again, or I'm doing something again. Actually, we have an Easter tomorrow, so maybe I'll take you on a little journey with me. We do have a bit of a car ride, so we're just gonna have to see how this weekend goes. We do have multiple showings this weekend, so gotta stay busy. Hello. I did just film another intro to a different video sitting here that you've already seen. That is my video I posted on Tuesday about my binging a book weekend routine. I'm about to today, I took the dust jacket off, binge the entirety of Where the Crawdads Sing. So if you want to see how today went and the pace at which I read this book, go ahead and watch that video. It should have been posted on Tuesday of this week. But last night I did finish Not So Perfect Strangers by L.S. Stratton, and I ended up giving it 4 stars, and I'm very interested. Our discussion of it is today at 2 o'clock, but based on what everyone has been saying in the Discord, I think there's been quite a few like ranging ratings for this book, so I think the discussion could be interesting. I do think that there is like quite a bit of discussion to be had about the black character being who is like instantly accused versus the like more polished white character being the one who's actually probably crazy. And I ended up in the end like actually really enjoying it. It wasn't exactly what I predicted was going to happen in the end. You know, I was a little surprised by stuff. Nothing came out of left field. It definitely was a book that like laid it out for you and like gave it to you, but it still was not like predictable in my opinion. So overall, I thought it was a really solid thriller. Would definitely recommend it, and I'm excited to see what everyone else has to say today. But I am headed in to Where the Crawdads Sing, and I will let you know. I'm only letting you know my thoughts in this vlog, so I'll probably check in at halfway and then check in tonight or tomorrow morning about my thoughts at the end, and then all I'll have left is Assassin's Quest, which is nice for me to just clear these out of my way to be able to focus on that, to get this video out for you hopefully Friday. If you're seeing this on Saturday, just don't worry about it. I never think it's good lighting here, but I just filmed like a good lighting clip for the other video and almost forgot that I need to update you because I am over 50% of the way through now. Sorry, I was having a little snack too. But I'm really liking this. I think the characters are very charming and intriguing, and I am like curious about the mystery. I think it's leading us in a couple different directions, and so even if like one of my predictions is true, I don't think it's like a waste, or I would say that it, like I predicted it and it ruined the story. I do think that we're probably getting close to like the timelines converging, so I think it's about to get even better. And overall, I think this was a good pick to like try to binge in a day, so I think it's reading fairly quickly and is intriguing enough for me to just like keep going. So I'll check in when I finish it, but my prediction is that this is going to get a pretty high rating from me. Hello, I am now sick, but I did finish Where the Crawdads Sing yesterday during my binging a book in a day challenge, and I didn't say at all in that video what I actually thought of this book. And I did end up giving it 5 stars. I think it's a little bit of a generous 5-star, but I was telling Martine when I finished it, because I think they were surprised that I gave it 5 stars, and I was like, you know what? Sometimes it just feels good to like say I really liked something. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I feel like I'm so strict, or I'm like, no, it's a 4.5, which I then on Goodreads rate a 4. I never round up my ratings. And I just felt in this instance like, you know what, I had a good time today reading this. I really liked the characters and like the coming of age and the storytelling in this. Also, I would consider this very nature-y if you're into like ecology at all. I think this is interesting because it's basically a girl living off the land. And then I also like enjoyed the mystery. I think what I said in the last clip where there was a couple different like avenues as to who could have killed this man that we know is dead. And while it was one of my guesses, like I said in that clip as well, there was like multiple options, and I think it was like laid out for us without being like the only possible option as you're reading through the mystery and it getting solved. I also love courtroom thrillers, and this had like the actual trial and stuff, so I ended up really liking this one. But that means now all I have left to finish for this episode is Assassin's Quest, which I stayed home from work sick today, so I did read like an hour already today, but I'm right almost to 50%. I'm at like 48%, 49% or something, and so I still have a lot of work to do to finish that book in time for this video to hopefully go up on Friday. I think it tells me I have like 11 hours left of reading even after what I did this morning. But in this one, I will say we kind of are back to our journey plot line, so I don't know. I still just feel like there's a lot of lollygagging. Like there's not that much happening for like how much time I have invested in this, but I am interested. Like I want to know what happens. I will say there are things happening, and Fitz needs to go home. Fitz needs to be at home, but I don't know. I don't know at all. I don't know what I'm gonna think. It's just so much story here in such a big book. I personally wish that these were, because it's a 3-book trilogy. Robin Hobb writes in like a bunch of trilogies basically, and I just think like, could it not have been a 6-book series? That's probably just me like not being a huge fantasy reader and not wanting to read large books. Like for some people the number of books they read doesn't matter at all, which I don't like to say that it does, but I just like the satisfaction of like finishing things. So yeah, I really just need to keep trucking on that. You know, it could end up being a 5-star. I was surprised book 2 in the series ended up getting a 4-star, so I think I just need to experience it for myself before I give too many thoughts. So I'll keep doing that. Hi. It is a long time later. When I said that you should be seeing this on Friday, and if you're seeing it on Saturday to like kind of mind your business, it's like 2 weeks later now. So there's been stuff going on. We did try to get another house. We offered on another house and didn't get it again. We are in this limbo of being a backup offer again, meaning that we have a signed agreement that if their current agreement falls through, that like we basically get first dibs on the house then, like we are assigned second offer, which happened on the first house we tried to get to. So I'm just kind of like, this is gonna keep happening until we actually get a house. But also this is gonna be a really Debbie Downer video. I am so sorry, but also my mom's mom, my grandmother, passed away last night, and so I have been spending some time with my family, knowing she got moved to hospice like 4 or so days ago. So knowing that that was coming, and that going forward also this coming week I will have family in town and funeral and such to go through. Also pretty sure that I have pink eye right now, so for 48 hours or so I won't be going anywhere or seeing anybody. But I'm pretty sure Mabel got it first. Today is Monday, so I'm home from work, but I'm pretty sure Mabel got it first, and then she's been sick, like throwing up sick, since yesterday, and so I've been sleeping with her. And so if it is pink eye, you know how contagious that is. So I now have an itchy, goopy eye that I'm not sure how well you can tell, but she's not looking the best. And then I think Betty has another ear infection, so we're probably on the track of Betty needing to get tubes in her ears. There's my little life update of like literally nothing positive. Thanks for being here. I love you guys. But I did finally last night finish Assassin's Quest. I didn't like this at all, and I feel really bad because I'm reading it with a group of people that like a couple of them, this is like their favorite book or series or author in general, and I just did not like this like almost at all. When I did my CAWPILE rating, the only thing that saved it a little bit was the writing. I didn't rate it super high, but I recognize that this is not terrible writing. And then also the characters, I do think that the relationships between characters in this series was really good, because this is the last book in a trilogy. But also I didn't like where those relationships went, and still I was confused on like who some people were. But overall this was just a huge journey book, and then like in the end when something could have been resolved, our main character Fitz just makes another decision to like not man up and deal with this stuff. I don't want to spoil, but I didn't like what was said in the ending about what Fitz did after kind of the resolution either. So it was like left so unsatisfying after I had spent 20 hours reading this huge long book. I was just so unsatisfied and almost like mad when I finished. So I am giving this one 2 stars. I gave the first book in the series 2 stars, the second book 4 stars, and then this one 2 stars again. One moment. Ruby did gift me for my birthday Ship of Magic, so I'm at least going to try this series also, starting with this first book. I'm going to try, but if I end up not liking this one, then I will probably be moving on from Robin Hobb. But there you have it. I'm kind of ready to move on from this episode. Like I said, it was a real downer, so let's head in to the next episode. I have already done my card flips for that, and I think it's going to be a much lighter episode. So I'll see you then. Thank you so much for spending some time with me recently. This spanned quite a bit of time. Bye-bye.